Hi everybody, it's Tamara here. I just wanted to use this short video to remind you about the red, the green and the blue modes of mind. I spoke about this with the majority of you in the sessions because this really is my top frame, my top conceptual framework for helping people to understand how we can really work well. We can work hard, we can work effectively, we can work well together and in teams, and we can work well perhaps when the work that we're doing has another element or layer of challenge. So there's three brain modes: the red, the blue and the green. I sometimes call them the three dragons: the red dragon, the green dragon and the blue dragon. I use this framework with senior leadership, with board members, with parents, with kids of 5 years old. It really, really is a helpful framework. You can call it whatever you want, but I like the language of dragons. So the red dragon comes out when we're feeling under threat. Yeah, this could be physical threat, it could be psychological threat. It's when we don't feel safe for whatever reason. And in the modern workplace, it's not so much that we're under physical threat often, it's often more of a psychological threat. Fear of failing, fear of getting it wrong, fear of not completing the project on time, fear of getting sacked, fear of being bullied or humiliated, fear of actually showing our true selves in the workplace. The red dragon can also arise within organizations when there's disruption or distress at the top of the organization, where there's this kind of filtering down of fear and threat, worry and anxiety from the senior leadership or from the board level. So we can think about this red dragon in terms of our own reactivity, our own response when things are not going well, when things are not as we want them to be. We can think about red at the level of the team, which is kind of what's the general vibe of the team. Is this a team where people feel safe? Is this a team where people are walking on eggshells the whole time? Often this is down to the leadership, so you might look up the chain in the organization and see, like, who do I see up the chain that's kind of managing stress well, that's managing it in healthy ways, in more nuanced, emotionally intelligent ways, not just kind of pretending it's not there. And where is the organization or the project, actually, the more systems level reds? Where in the project is there going to be reds that we can anticipate? Where in the business is there going to be reds? Mergers or changes or moves or reorganizations or rebrandings, things that kind of rock the stability of our sense of safety as a team and as a tribe. So those are the reds, and at the individual level, the EQ assessment is about really discovering how am I in my body and my mind, when my reds are activated. And the more I know about that, the quicker I can catch it, the quicker I can be skillful to mitigate it. Now, the way to mitigate the reds is by getting greens. And so I spoke to quite a few of you about the greens. The greens here being the things that soothe us, the things that help us when the brain is getting in a panic and we're starting to feel a bit discombobulated. We don't know if we're coming or going. The thoughts are racing. We kind of can't think straight. We're not able to make decisions. And the smallest thing irritates us. These are all signature mind-body states of being in the red. And we need to learn how to manage these appropriately. So I have two kinds of greens. I've got my maintenance greens, which are the things that I do every day to try and make sure I'm at my optimum. This is taking care of sleep, diet, exercise, making sure I'm hydrated. Yeah, some of that's really basic stuff. And when we're stressed, we lose that. Yeah, so the minute we're seeing that those things are changing and the patterns are changing, we can be aware that some reds are creeping in. And we need to be actively managing ourselves, getting to bed on good time, sleep hygiene practices, making sure we're exercising, making sure it's the right kind of exercise. Sometimes we're tempted to kind of go hard at the gym, and actually maybe if we're going hard at work, we need to do some softer, some more gentle exercise. Still getting the benefits of exercise, but not draining ourselves. Yeah, but that's our own individual, unique calling. For me, the maintenance greens are also things like meditation, my Tai Chi practice, spending time with friends, having time on the phone, chatting to family, the things that I know nourish me. Yeah, with people who I know I can be myself with. I don't have to wear the mask. I know I can just be me, and I can be valued, and I can be loved. Then there's the emergency greens. These are the things that I know if I'm going into a period of red, if I've got a difficult project, or I've got a difficult milestone in a project, or I've got a difficult client that I'm working with, then I know, okay, this is going to be pushing my buttons, or I'm also moving house and having fights with my partner. I'm in the red, and I now it's not a nice to have, it's the emergency reds. So this is like my list of my top 3 things that I definitely need to put in the diary. I need to double up in the diary, and if I'm not doing them, I've got people in my network who I can call on. That could be a manager, it could be a friend, often it's a family member, and their job is just to say to me every day, have you done this? Have you done this? Did you do this thing that you said that you were going to do to refill the tank? Because you're in a moment where the tank is getting drained, and that's not sustainable, it's not skillful, and it means that your work is not good. Yeah, and because you value your work, you want to perform well, these things are now vital. Are you doing them? Yeah, so those are the greens. And you might think about how you can create that language of greens in your team, how you can use your own language, your own culture to support one another. Maybe it's like saying, literally go out in the green, get out in nature, go and walk around in the forest or the garden, or spend some time literally in the green, because we know nature restores our attention. We know that nature helps to soothe us and take care of our mental well-being. So literally getting into the green, but there are other ways. And there might be ways that your team can do it. And then the blue mode, of course, is this doing mode. So this is when your brain is on, like, I need to get this done. It's project management, it's executing the plan, it's A to B to C to D, let's get on it. Now, sometimes we activate this blue mode to solve red. And this is a very, very typical style. I'm in the red mode, things are not going well, I just have to do stuff quickly to fix it. This does work. This absolutely works. But it's not a sustainable strategy, and it has some costs. So if that's one of your strategies, no judgment. Yeah, absolutely. It's probably served you very well. Yeah, and you guys are trained in this analytic problem mode, problem solving, fixing modes. Yeah, so it's very natural that your brain and mind goes to this way of helping yourself in a red mode. But there are some downsides. One is it's habitual responding, which means it's based on past patterns of behavior. It's prioritizing past patterns of behavior and experiences over what's happening here and now. The second thing is, if you get into that habit, actually what happens is when any emotion comes, you skip over it. So you miss the opportunity to really savor the moments when things are going great. Yeah, stop, pause, don't just go to the next goal. Sit and swim in that wonderful, beautiful data of your body telling you you've done a great job. You've done something really worthwhile. Where is that? Where is that in the heart? You know, beautiful, amazing. Stay with that even for 20 seconds. Yeah? Get into the habit of pausing, taking in the whole data set, including the body, yeah, before you then go into your blue mode and carry on with the next task. Fundamentally, our work is the blue mode. Yeah, that's what you're paid to do. You're there to work. You're there to get the job done. Yeah, but maximizing your blue really comes from this recognition that if I want my best blue to emerge, it comes from a bed of green. Yeah, when it comes from red, it's great. There's a lot of learning, but it's not sustainable and it can leave you drained. And if you've got to be on a project for a long period of time, this way of working may have some costs. So that might be an exercise just to think about, you know, when are the moments when I need to push, and when can I just pause and yield for a second and then go back to pushing? And how can I begin to experiment with that in the workplace? But critical is getting to know which of my dragons is out at the moment. Which brain mode am I in now? Am I in blue? Am I in green? Am I in a kind of greeny blue? Or am I in red? And this then determines your very next step. So I wish you well. I hope that was informative. I hope hearing this talk put you in a kind of greeny blue mode. You know, some optimism, some hope about really doing great work. Maybe a little bit of red around like, oh, this is different. This is unusual. This is not what we normally do. Change and novelty. These are the things that introduce a wee bit of red into the brain. Any process of change will bring some red, but I really encourage you to experiment with this, because if you can get these skills in your body, in your mind, in your brain, and in your working processes, absolutely everything that flows from it will be of a much higher quality, much more innovation, more collaborative, more team working, more loyalty, and just all the great things that human beings can do when they work well together and they're feeling safe and they're doing meaningful work. I wish you a good day. Take care.